Hey guys, Erica here, back with another design tip for Squarespace Fluid Engine. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create overlapping section designs. This is really simple to create, but also really customizable and can open up lots of unique design possibilities. So let's dive right in. Okay, so just some examples of what I'm going to show you how to do today. Basically, I want to show you how to create this overlapping effect between two sections. And whether that's an image overlapping the section or even an element like this overlapping the section, it can create some really, really cool design features. So it's so simple to create, but there's so many things you can do with this overlapping. So here's another example in our Victoria template. We were just looking at one of our sales page templates for Squarespace. But you can see how this image is like overlapping this section. And also, this is our GG Rose template. We obviously have a lot of overlapping images, but you can see section to section are also overlapping. And we do this quite a lot in our templates because it's just such a nice way to connect the sections rather than having them all completely standalone. So it's actually so simple to create, and let me show you how to do it. It used to be a little bit more complicated before we were using Squarespace Fluid Engine. But with the release of Fluid Engine, we've been able to use shape blocks, and I will show you how those work. So I'm going to go ahead and just start a new page. And I'm going to start adding some sections. So I'm going to click Edit on my page, and I'm going to click Add Section. In this scenario, I'm going to use some sections that Squarespace already has just so I can start with some layout pieces. So let me just add 3. Obviously, normally I would just create my own section designs. But I'm just going to use these Squarespace sections because I'm just really trying to show you how to do one specific thing today. So let's say I want to create this section overlapping with this section. What I would do is for every section I want to create an overlap with, I would usually come to Edit Section and take off all of the padding. It's usually easier if you're not working with any section padding. So right now the section padding for this is set to small. So I'm just going to toggle on this fill screen button, and that's going to just remove all of the padding. So we can start with a no padded section. And then to create the overlap, we're going to need to use some sort of color, whether it's in this section or this section. So we're going to need to break the two sections up by using color. So go to your colors settings for your section, and I'm going to go ahead and just use this one here, this light one, this purple color. So you can see here that the section split is right at the bottom of the section. And so what we're either going to do is we're going to want this color to sort of creep into this section, or vice versa. We want the color of this section to come into this section. So I think what we'll do in this case is we'll take the color of whatever we choose for this section and we'll put it into this section. And so the overlap will happen around this point here. So I'm going to come down to this section, and just because I want to use a different color, I'm going to use bright 2. And then we're going to come back up to this first section. So if we want the overlap to happen around here, we're going to be working within this section. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a block. We're going to add a shape block. And we're going to drag this shape block right to the bottom of the section and right out to the edge. Okay, so you can probably see what I'm about to do here. Firstly, you're going to need to change the layer on the page. So we're going to click this Move Backward button and make sure it's at the very back so that anything is sitting on top of it, like these images. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. This is really just up to you though. And I'm going to double click on it to open up the settings. Come down to the color settings at the bottom, and you can either choose something from your palette or you can choose something custom depending on what this color is here. So mine is a palette color, so I can just choose palette. And now you can instantly see, now it looks like this section is overlapping this section. So we've just used the shape block in this section here to overlap. Now I haven't used the best colors because it's actually really hard to see the contrast. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly change it. And this is a good example of how you can actually change the colors. So I'm going to change the second section. And let's go ahead and just change it to a dark color. Then we're going to do this shape block again. And we're going to change it to the same color as the shape below. So you can see we have our top section, and now our top section has this look that it's overlapping with the second section. To increase this effect even more, I might remove the padding from the second section, which is just going to reduce that padding and make it look even more like it's overlapping. Now it's a little bit hard to see and sort of really understand what this looks like while you're in the edit mode because it's just so obvious that you're using a shape block. So I'm going to click save and exit and just look at this sort of more in a preview without the sections all highlighted. And when you scroll down, you can see that now you have this really cool overlapping effect. And it almost looks like you've merged those two sections, but all you've actually done is just added a shape block to the bottom of the top section that is the same color as this section. So I love this effect. There's so many different ways you can take this and run with it. So now that you know that you can use a shape block at the bottom or the top of a different section, you'll be able to overlap all sorts of different blocks, even blocks like these little icons. So basically I've just done the exact same thing, but instead of the image here, I've just added a circle sort of stamp image, and that sits across the two sections. So it's exactly the same concept. All you're doing is using a shape block. It's super easy, but it can open up so many fun design opportunities. So I hope you've enjoyed that little hack so you can create lots of fun overlapping sections yourself. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that video and learned something new. If you did, definitely check out this video because you'll probably enjoy that one too. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We put out new videos pretty much every week. So I will see you in the next one.